When the world thinks of Christmas, it imagines the familiar scenes: snow-covered rooftops, warm fireplaces, sweaters, gift wrapping, and December calendars. But in the Philippines, Christmas is not tied to winter, to snow, or even to December. It exists as its own universe, full of color, sound, light, emotion, and cultural depth unlike anything found elsewhere. For Filipinos, Christmas is not just an event. It is a feeling they wait for all year. And once it begins, often months earlier than anywhere else, it becomes a celebration that defines an entire nation. To understand Filipino Christmas is to understand the Filipino heart itself. Warm, hopeful, resilient, and endlessly joyful. Christmas in the Philippines famously begins in September, the start of the BR months. When Westerners first hear this, they assume it's an exaggeration. But the moment September 1st arrives, radio stations begin slipping Christmas songs into their playlists, malls set up holiday displays, and families pull out their decorations. It's more than habit. It's cultural instinct. The earlier Christmas begins, the earlier joy enters Filipino life. This long celebration has been observed for decades and continues to fascinate foreigners who visit the Philippines, only to discover that the entire country willingly transforms into a magical holiday world for 1/3 of the year. Why so early? The answer lies deep within Filipino culture. The Philippines is a nation shaped by hardship, typhoons, earthquakes, financial struggles, and millions of families separated by overseas work. In the middle of these challenges, Filipinos developed a collective habit of looking for joy, no matter how small. Christmas became their biggest source of joy, hope, and emotional refuge. So when September arrives, Filipinos don't just decorate early. They welcome happiness early. It's a psychological and emotional coping mechanism, one that has become a cultural treasure. Christmas is not escapism. It is resilience wrapped in lights, music, and family traditions. Christmas traditions in the Philippines are also rooted in centuries of history. As the only predominantly Christian nation in Asia, with over 80% of its population being Catholic, Filipino Christmas blends Spanish influence with indigenous customs. Spanish missionaries introduced the religious foundation, midnight masses, nativity scenes, devotionals, but Filipinos added their own creativity, warmth, and community spirit. The result is a holiday season that carries spiritual meaning while bursting with Filipino personality. Over hundreds of years, these traditions shaped the Christmas experience, so unique that even global researchers study its cultural richness, how faith merges with festivity, and how Filipinos transform Christmas into a symbol of national identity. One of the most iconic symbols of Filipino Christmas is the parol, a star-shaped lantern crafted from bamboo, paper, or modern LED materials. While foreigners may view it as simple decor, Filipinos understand its deeper significance. The parol represents the Star of Bethlehem, yes, but also symbolizes light during darkness, hope during struggle, and unity among families separated by distance. Entire towns in Pampanga create giant lanterns for the annual Giant Lantern Festival, featuring massive illuminated masterpieces controlled by synchronized lighting systems. The parol is more than decoration. It is a cultural beacon that reminds Filipinos that hope always shines, even in the darkest seasons. Filipino Christmas is also known for its extravagant decorations unlike anywhere else. Whereas other countries decorate modestly, Filipino communities transform everything. Streets, malls, schools, airports, bus stations, even police stations are filled with lights and ornaments. Houses compete silently for the most creative display, where glowing parols, twinkling fairy lights, and inflatable Santa figures blend into colorful arrangements. The Philippines may not have snow, but it compensates with brilliant, artistic illumination that turns entire neighborhoods into Christmas villages. Foreigners who visit during December often describe it as stepping into a living postcard, a place where the night shines as brightly as the day. But light is only half of the Filipino Christmas experience. The other half is sound. Music is everywhere during the season. Inside malls, markets, jeepneys, offices, and even hospitals. Filipinos enjoy Christmas carols with contagious enthusiasm. Children roam from house to house, singing classics like Ang Pasko ay Sumapit, shaking homemade tambourines made from bottle caps. Teenagers harmonize in groups, hoping for small donations. Church choirs fill air-conditioned malls with angelic voices. And of course, Jose Mari Chan's Timeless Christmas in Our Hearts becomes the unofficial signal that the season has begun. Every Filipino knows the lyrics by heart, turning the entire nation into a massive choir. Christmas songs in the Philippines are more than background music. They're emotional landmarks. Songs like Pasko na naman, Kumukutakutitap, and Sana na yung Pasko trigger memories of childhood, family reunions, and loved ones far away. Overseas Filipinos, when hearing these songs abroad, often cry because they represent home. The nostalgia is powerful. Music unites Filipinos across islands and continents, reminding them of belonging. In a world where millions of Filipinos live abroad, Christmas music becomes an emotional bridge connecting them back to their families, culture, and homeland. For Filipinos, holiday songs are not just melodies. They are memories wrapped in sound. Beyond lights and music lies the true center of Filipino Christmas. Family. It is not unusual for Filipinos abroad, OFWs, seafarers, nurses, teachers, to save all year just to fly home in December. Philippine airports become emotional theaters of reunion. Children running into their parents' arms, grandparents crying as they hug grandchildren for the first time, families carrying balikbayan boxes filled with gifts and food. Christmas is the one time when scattered families feel whole. Unlike Western celebrations focus on gifts, Filipino Christmas prioritizes presence. What truly matters is not what sits under the tree, but who sits around it. This emphasis on family is beautifully expressed in the Filipino tradition called Noche Buena. After attending the Christmas Eve midnight mass, families gather around a table filled with food, hamon, queso de bola, spaghetti, chicken, pancit kakanin, and more. The menu doesn't need to be extravagant. Even simple dishes feel special because they are shared. Noche Buena is symbolic. It represents gratitude for the year, blessings received, and the joy of being together. In wealthy homes and humble homes alike, the warmth is the same. Laughter, storytelling, teasing, and bonding that lasts into the early hours. Noche Buena is not a meal. It is an emotional ritual. Another beloved Filipino Christmas tradition is Simbang Gabi, a 9-day series of dawn masses leading up to December 25th. Historically, it started during the Spanish era, when farmers attended early morning masses before heading to the fields. Today, millions of Filipinos, young and old, wake up before sunrise to attend these masses. It's a test of devotion and discipline. People believe that completing all 9 masses grants a special wish. Outside the churches, vendors sell bibingka and puto bonbon, creating an atmosphere that feels heavenly. Even those who rarely attend church during the year make an effort during Simbang Gabi because it connects faith, community, and tradition. But beyond ceremony and religion, Christmas in the Philippines is deeply rooted in the Filipino story of resilience. Natural disasters frequently strike the country. Typhoons, floods, earthquakes. Economic hardships challenge many families. And millions of Filipinos endure emotional struggles from working overseas. Yet through all this, Filipinos have learned to hold on to joy with remarkable strength. Christmas becomes a reminder that no matter how difficult life gets, hope still shines. The season represents healing, recovery, and faith in better days. This emotional resilience explains why Filipino Christmas doesn't just last long, it burns brightly from the inside out. Foreigners visiting the Philippines during Christmas often express amazement at how joyful and welcoming the atmosphere feels. They see that Filipino Christmas isn't commercial. It's emotional. People decorate their homes not to impress neighbors, but to create happiness for their families. Children's laughter fills the streets. Communities host small celebrations. Music flows everywhere. And the spirit of sharing becomes palpable, especially among the poor. Even households with little still prepare small feasts, share food with neighbors, and welcome unexpected visitors. Christmas in the Philippines becomes a community celebration, not just a private event. This warmth leaves a lasting impression on anyone who experiences it. At schools across the country, Christmas is eagerly anticipated. Students participate in parties with parlor games like Trip to Jerusalem, Stop Dance, and Pinoy Henio. Teachers prepare dance performances, class presentations, and small giveaways. Children exchange gifts through Monito Manita, a Filipino gift-giving game where participants give weekly themed presents before revealing their secret friend at the final party. Even in public schools where budgets are limited, the creativity and enthusiasm are extraordinary. Parents cook homemade dishes to contribute. Classrooms are decorated with recycled ornaments. For Filipino children, Christmas is one of the happiest times of the year. Workplaces also join in the holiday spirit. Corporate offices, small businesses, government agencies, and even barangay halls organize Christmas parties filled with raffles, games, and contests. Cash prizes, grocery bags, and small appliances become the most anticipated raffle items. Companies host dance competitions, comedy skits, and even fashion shows. The Christmas party becomes a celebration of unity and a chance for employees to relax after a long year. For many Filipino workers, this annual gathering is one of the rare moments to unwind, laugh, and bond with colleagues. These parties reinforce the Filipino value of community even in professional spaces. Perhaps the most emotional symbol of Filipino Christmas is the overseas Filipino worker, the OFW. With over 10 million Filipinos living abroad, Christmas becomes a bittersweet season. Many cannot return home due to work commitments, distance, or financial limitations. Instead, they send money, balik-bayan boxes, or video messages. Families gather home, opening gifts with gratitude and sadness mixed together. Video calls replace physical hugs. Despite the loneliness, OFWs remain hopeful, believing that one day they will celebrate Christmas again with their families. Their sacrifice gives Filipino Christmas its deepest emotional layer, love expressed across oceans. This powerful diaspora experience explains why Filipino Christmas commercials often go viral. They depict stories of sacrifice, longing, and family reunion. Brands like Jollibee, Coca-Cola, and telecom companies produce heartwarming Christmas ads that bring millions to tears. The ads show OFWs calling home, grandparents waiting for their balik-bayan children, or simple families sharing Noche Buena despite financial struggles. These ads resonate because they reflect real Filipino experiences. They remind people of love, sacrifice, and importance of family. To Filipinos, Christmas ads are not just marketing. They are emotional reflections of their lives. Yet, even with the challenges, Filipino Christmas remains one of the happiest celebrations on earth. Filipinos know how to celebrate despite hardship. They know how to laugh despite pain. They know how to create joy from simple things. Christmas becomes an expression of their collective strength. It is not something they celebrate because life is easy. It is something they celebrate because life is hard. The Filipino spirit shines brightest during the holidays. And this is what makes Filipino Christmas internationally unique. It is joy built on resilience, faith built on experience, and love built on sacrifice. Foreigners often notice how early Filipinos start preparing for Christmas. But once they understand the culture, it makes perfect sense. Filipinos work hard, often in difficult conditions. They endure long commutes, low wages, and unpredictable weather. So when September comes and the Christmas season begins, it brings psychological relief. The lights, music, and festivities offer emotional comfort. They remind Filipinos that joy is near. And because happiness is something Filipinos actively fight for, not something they take for granted, they celebrate it loudly, sincerely, and wholeheartedly. The devotion to Christmas also reflects Filipino religious faith. While Christmas around the world has become increasingly commercial, many Filipinos still anchor their celebrations in religious meaning. Churches become the center of community gatherings. Families pray together, attend masses, and join charity events. Religious organizations host charity drives, feeding programs, and gift-giving activities for children and families in need. Christmas becomes an opportunity to practice compassion and generosity. Even young people participate, joining caroling groups to raise funds for church projects or community outreach. Filipino Christmas blends spirituality with celebration in a way that keeps the holiday meaningful. Food plays an important role in Filipino Christmas culture. Beyond Noche Buena, families prepare special dishes throughout the season. Bibingka, rice cake cooked over charcoal, and puto bumbong, purple rice steamed in bamboo tubes, become street staples during Simbang Gabi. Christmas ham and queso de bola appear in households nationwide. Filipino spaghetti, sweet and full of hot dogs, becomes a childhood favorite. Every dish carries emotional weight, connecting families to memories of past celebrations. Food is not just nourishment. It is love expressed through flavors. Even families with limited means find creative ways to prepare something special, proving that Filipino Christmas is defined by effort, not luxury. Travelers who spend Christmas in the Philippines often describe the experience as overwhelming, in the best way. The warmth of Filipino hospitality becomes even more intense during the season. Strangers greet each other with smiles. Communities hold parties open to neighbors. Even foreigners are invited into homes to share meals. Filipinos treat guests like family, especially during Christmas. For many travelers, the Philippines becomes a place where holiday loneliness disappears. This emotional hospitality is why many foreigners return again and again, sometimes even choosing to settle in the country. They feel something during Filipino Christmas that they rarely find anywhere else. Unconditional welcome. Christmas in the Philippines also carries a strong sense of nostalgia. Filipinos cherish memories deeply. Childhood games, street decorations, reunion traditions, old songs played on cassette tapes, the smell of bibingka after Mass. These memories create emotional attachments that make the holiday incredibly meaningful. Even Filipinos living abroad often recreate Filipino Christmas traditions to feel closer to home. They cook Filipino dishes, hang parols, and play local songs. The nostalgia serves as a reminder of identity. And even when distances separate families, the memories bind them together, giving Filipino Christmas its unmistakable emotional depth. During the last week of December, the atmosphere becomes more intense. Families finalize Noche Buena preparations. Malls get packed. Travel terminals overflow with people trying to reach their provinces. Streets glow with lights. Choirs rehearse. Children eagerly count the days. There's a mix of excitement and chaos that Filipinos have learned to navigate with humor and patience. This is a climax of the long Christmas season, a joyous chaos that only Filipinos can manage gracefully. Amid the busy energy, there is a universal feeling. Everyone is heading home. Christmas Eve in the Philippines is a magical experience. Families dress in their best clothes and attend the Misa de Gallo, the midnight mass that marks the official arrival of Christmas. Churches overflow with people, from infants carried by their parents to elderly individuals leaning on canes. After Mass, families return home for Noche Buena. The feast becomes a joyful reunion filled with laughter, hugs, stories, and prayers. Children excitedly open gifts, often simple, but full of meaning. The warmth of togetherness makes Christmas Eve the emotional peak of Filipino holiday culture. On Christmas Day, families visit relatives, godparents, and neighbors. Children receive aguinaldo, small gifts or money given by ninongs and ninangs. Homes open their doors to visitors. Street corners are filled with kids playing with new toys. Communities host fun activities like talent shows or gift distributions. Christmas Day is not a quiet, private celebration. It is loud, social, and full of movement. Everywhere you go, you see families walking together, laughter echoing, and food being shared. It is a day when loneliness becomes rare because the entire nation seems to function as one big extended family. The day after Christmas, many countries calm down. In the Philippines, it's only the beginning. Christmas celebrations continue through New Year's and often all the way to the Feast of the Three Kings in January. Parties continue, decorations remain, and families stay in celebration mode. This extended holiday reflects Filipino values of gratitude, positivity, and connection. Filipinos make the most out of the season because they know that once January ends, life will return to its usual challenges. So they maximize joy while it lasts, reminding themselves that happiness, when shared, becomes a shield against hardship. Filipino Christmas is also marked by generosity. Many families, despite their financial struggles, donate to charities or join feeding programs. Some participate in Pamasco drives, giving gifts to children in poor communities. Others sponsor meals for disaster victims, or bring food to orphanages and nursing homes. There is an unspoken belief that Christmas blessings must be shared, not kept. This generosity reflects the Filipino value of Bayanihan, community cooperation. It transforms Christmas from a personal celebration into a collective act of kindness, strengthening bonds within society and spreading hope to those who need it most. Even in times of crisis, Filipino Christmas adapts without losing its spirit. During typhoons, earthquakes, or pandemics, families find ways to celebrate safely, creatively, and lovingly. Communities help rebuild homes, offer shelter, and share food. Churches organize relief operations disguised as Christmas events. Filipinos turn tragedy into unity. Their holiday joy becomes a form of emotional resistance. They refuse to let hardship erase the season. This determination to celebrate, even when the world feels heavy, shows why Filipino Christmas stands alone. It is joy born from resilience, not privilege. Another reason Filipino Christmas is special is its strong spiritual core. Even Filipinos who are not deeply religious still participate in traditions like Simbang Gabi and Noche Buena because these customs connect them to history and community. Churches become centers of love, hope, and support. Families light candles, sing carols, and pray together. Whether in small chapels or massive basilicas, the message remains the same. Christmas is about gratitude. It is a reminder that faith, whatever form it takes, can guide people through both joyous seasons and difficult ones. As the world modernizes, Filipino Christmas continues to evolve. LED parols replace traditional paper designs. Social media becomes a platform for virtual reunions. OFWs send remittances digitally. Families coordinate events through messaging apps. Yet despite this modernization, the heart of Filipino Christmas remains unchanged. Technology may alter how Filipinos celebrate, but not why they celebrate. The values, family, faith, generosity, joy, remain constant. This blend of tradition and modernity makes Filipino Christmas timeless, allowing young generations to connect with centuries-old customs while adapting to realities of modern life. Foreigners who witness Filipino Christmas often express shock at how deeply emotional it is. Some describe it as the world's happiest Christmas. Others say it feels like a festival that never ends. They notice how Filipinos open their homes, how strangers are treated like friends, and how celebrations remain authentic rather than commercial. Many foreigners admit they feel more included in Filipino Christmas than in their own country's celebrations. This emotional inclusiveness reflects Filipino hospitality, a cultural instinct to make others feel welcome, appreciated, and loved. One of the most profound elements of Filipino Christmas is the undeniable warmth of community. Filipinos naturally share food, laughter, space-time. Christmas amplifies this instinct. Even families with limited means still invite neighbors over or give small gifts to children. This generosity strengthens social bonds and spreads joy across entire communities. In the Philippines, Christmas is never lonely because the season itself becomes a collective embrace. And this sense of belonging, of being included and valued, is what makes Filipino Christmas unforgettable to anyone who experiences it. For Filipinos living abroad, Christmas becomes a source of both joy and longing. They decorate their apartments, play Filipino Christmas songs, cook Noche Buena dishes, and join Filipino community gatherings. These rituals help them feel connected to home. Many OFWs send videos and voice messages during Christmas Eve, sometimes crying quietly as they watch their families celebrate from afar. Their emotional sacrifices remind everyone that Filipino Christmas is deeper than festivities. It is an expression of love that continues even when distance interferes. This mixture of joy and longing defines the Filipino diaspora experience. As December ends, Filipinos prepare for another major celebration, New Year's Eve. The transition from Christmas to New Year is seamless, full of fireworks, food, and family gatherings. But even during this time, the spirit of Christmas lingers. Decorations stay up, carols continue to play, and emotional warmth remains. Filipinos enter the new year with hope, positivity, and gratitude, values strengthened by the long Christmas season. This creates a cultural cycle where Christmas becomes both an ending and a beginning. It closes one year with joy and opens the next with optimism. By January, as other countries pack away their decorations, the Philippines continues celebrating until the Feast of the Three Kings. This extended period allows families more time to bond and reflect. Decorations stay lit, communities hold final gatherings, and churches wrap up their Christmas programs. The Philippines recognizes that joy doesn't need to be rushed. The extended celebration gives people time to breathe, connect, and appreciate the blessings of the season. This slow, meaningful approach makes Filipino Christmas feel more human and heart-centered. When Christmas finally ends, Filipinos do not feel sadness. Instead, they feel gratitude. They know they celebrated fully, generously, and lovingly. They know they created memories that will carry them through the coming year. And they know that in just a few months, Christmas will begin again. This anticipation of joy shapes Filipino culture throughout the year. It gives families something to look forward to, especially during difficult times. Christmas becomes an emotional anchor, a reminder that even after storms, joy always returns. Christmas in the Philippines stands apart because it represents more than tradition. It is a cultural mirror reflecting Filipino identity, resilient, warm-hearted, family-centered, and full of faith. It is a season where joy becomes a collective mission, where no one is left behind, and where love is expressed loudly and proudly. Whether through carols, parols, food, prayers, or reunions, Filipinos celebrate with sincerity. And this sincerity is what makes their Christmas unforgettable. When foreigners ask, why is Christmas in the Philippines different? The answer is simple, because Filipinos themselves are different. Their kindness, creativity, humor, and emotional strength shape the season into something magical. Christmas becomes proof that Filipinos can turn even the simplest moments into joyful memories. It shows how deeply they value connection, how strongly they honor tradition, and how beautifully they navigate life's challenges. Filipino Christmas is a celebration of the Filipino soul. So if you truly want to understand the Philippines, not the beaches, not the food, not the landmarks, but the heart, visit during Christmas. Walk through the glowing streets. Listen to the music. Share a meal with a Filipino family. Feel the warmth of their welcome. Then you will understand why Christmas in the Philippines is one of the most extraordinary celebrations in the world. Because in this country, Christmas is not just a day. It is 4 months of love, 4 months of joy, 4 months of home. It is the Filipino spirit at its most beautiful.